The show is made possible in part by its supporting sponsors: Blue Water Power Group of Companies, Joe's Discount Tire, and AskGuy.ca. You can't do that. I do that. We're already having fun here. We're just going to jump right into it. Some great stories we've been able to talk about here with the people in our community. And I called up this guy, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about. Renato Laureano. I wanted to make sure I got your last name right. And thanks for having me here. And this is a beautiful home.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah. I'm doing great. Just getting ready for the the Christmas season, holiday season.
Christmas, holidays. How do you say it?
How do you say?
Do you say Christmas or do you say holidays?
It depends who I'm talking
to,
maybe.
Great answer.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever comes out of my mouth.
Yeah,
that's what it is. I don't censor myself really. Just make sure that I'm politically correct. So
yeah. Do you get it right all the time?
Yes.
Yes, as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's great. Let's start with the backstory. I always like to. You're not originally from Sarnia. Tell everybody where you're from.
Well, I came from a small town in the Philippines called Cavite City.
Okay.
It's right across from Manila Bay.
All right.
So that's I grew up there. I didn't grow up there. Sorry. We left around 74. I was 10 years old when we came here. Martial law just came into effect. Where basically by midnight it's curfew time and shut down. But anyways, we came here for opportunity. So my dad thought, anyways.
Yeah, that's right. What was? Did he have a plan? Him and your mom?
No, you know what? They just wanted a better life for the kids back then. Right? And they did that. They provided.
Yeah.
I went back after 42 years back in 2016.
Okay.
So it took me 42 years to go back.
What was that like? You
know what? I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad my parents did what they did.
Yeah.
Right? The city was just so crowded. I saw my old house.
Oh, did you?
Had a chance to, look through the gate.
I think I saw you posted about that.
Yeah. For me as a kid, it was a big house. It still is. It's a good sized home, but it's just so run down. Yeah. I don't think they've done anything since we left.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you knock on the door?
I did. I spoke to somebody. I just kind of peeked through the gate, and there was somebody at the very back, just having a cigarette. Came chatted with me, and when I saw the door was open, so I kind of. No, I don't think I want to go in there.
Yeah.
Right? And there's some, that part was kind of sad. It's a pretty crowded city. It took forever to travel 1 kilometer down the street.
Really?
It was just so crowded.
Wow.
Right? So
I can't imagine that. Like this street that we're on could be a kilometer, and not to be able to.
We could travel 100 kilometers and it would take like 8 hours.
Wow.
At least.
I wouldn't have the patience for that.
During the day. Yeah. Nighttime is when they usually travel from city to city.
Yeah.
Right?
And what's the living, what's the lifestyle like down there?
It depends which spectrum you're at.
Yeah.
Right? The lifestyle, overpopulated. There's a lot of squatters. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So, so I kind of felt bad. And then, if you're on the other range where, you're not necessarily well off, but average to and up, then you have an okay lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? There's parts of the Philippines where it's like, oh my God, this is just so, it just feels like third world. And then there's parts where it feels like you're in Florida or, Toronto, downtown, modern buildings and so on.
Were you glad that you went back?
Yeah. I wanted to see my family again, my cousins.
Oh, yeah,
and we caught up just like I never left, right?
That's cool.
And you know what? That's thanks to Facebook, because then we got to pre-screen each other.
Right.
See what we're all about and so on. So, it was cool.
Lots of great conversations, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun going back as a North American.
Yeah, right.
It was good.
Yeah. So that's, I would say, brave, I guess, her parents to, leave that country, come to another country. Like, there's no internet, there's no, Googling, where are we going to go, honey? You know, so there's a lot of risk involved, I guess, in that. But they did that, and then what did your mom and dad do?
You know what? My dad was doing office work before,
okay.
right? Him and his brothers, they were doing importing, exporting.
Okay.
So that was a different lifestyle. You know, we had a house where we had maids looking after us, and so on, right? Where moving here was kind of like, you know, my dad worked at Homes Boundary. He was at a welding shop in Sombra at one time.
Yeah.
So it's a big.
So it was a change.
It was a big change, and my mom did, you know, retail work, right, and so on. So, but you know what? We survived.
Yeah.
They survived. You know.
Yeah. And so how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Right, and then I had 3 siblings, 3 younger daughters, sisters.
Right. Okay.
Right?
All right.
So yeah.
And
thank God I was the oldest.
Right? Why?
Oh, I don't.
You don't think you would have survived as well?
Probably not. I'd probably be playing in the dollhouse or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Older brother. So were you the protector?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, whenever anybody picked on any of my sisters, I would step up. I did get into a lot of fights back then.
Did you? Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? Visible minority, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they just expected that I like to fight or
I
I was just being more protective, you know.
Sure.
You know, but I did get along with most people.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. We've had some other guests on here, you know, like Fabian Jagu and Eve Morgan, and they've talked about coming from somewhere else to here and that culture change. How did you deal with that?
You know what? I just I have a lot of I made a lot of good friends though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, there's a lot of times where you know these kids would come up at me and just be mean. They were just kids though.
Yeah.
You know, and there's one guy in particular that even spat on me. It's like, oh my God, it was just. And at the time, it's like, okay, just be cool or whatever. Yeah. So, you know, one, he was a little bigger than me, so he shouldn't have been picking on somebody my size.
So judgment call here.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I see these people later on in my life, like, you know, 20, 30 years later, and I see where they're at, and it's almost like karma, right? I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Right? So, but anyways.
The ones that thought they had it all and behaved a certain way, and then you look down the road and go. But that's, well, like you said, a visible minority, especially back in that time, right?
Yeah,
so, and you went to St. Clair?
Went to St. Clair,
Yeah. And I do this every interview, and the reason I do this is because I think school has a big impact on a direction in our life. Overall, how was school for you?
You know what? High school was awesome. I had a lot of fun. I played sports. Right?
So what'd you play?
Played badminton, volleyball, basketball. Basketball was fun. I loved the sport, but I was no, it's just like I got to watch from the bench and just participate. You know what? I stayed out of trouble. Right? You know, volleyball was great. You know, I got to play a lot on that, so that was cool. But yeah. High school overall was fun.
Yeah. What, continue moving forward, like, did you were you a college university guy after, or what came next?
I went to, back then, you know what, your parents, the way we were brought up, it's like, as soon as you're done high school, you better figure out what to do after.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Like, get out?
Most of the time, no, not get out, no. Most of the time they were like, well, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a lawyer.
Oh, I see, right, okay.
Or high expectations.
Right.
So, no, I went to Lambton College after. But I wish I would have taken a break and just done my own thing before I decided to be electronic technologist.
Yeah. What would you have done if you had taken that break?
I don't know.
Right. Like travel or?
No, probably be working until I figure out what to do. Yeah. Right? You know, because a lot of our classmates then, that's kind of what they did. Yeah. You know, Chemical Valley was easy to get into then.
Yeah, it was different, right?
It was different, right?
Yeah. CN was another option, and Chemical Valley and all that. Sure. And you just went and applied, and they said, sure, come on in, we'll train you.
Basically.
And if we like you and you're a hard worker, we will likely keep you.
Yeah, basically. Or, you know, it's who you know too, right? So,
that helps, for sure.
Yeah. But no, I didn't have that. I wasn't fortunate enough to have all those right connections.
No.
Right?
So sorry, what did you go to college for?
I went for electronics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just bored the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of lab work and so on, and I just didn't have that study group that I work with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a few of my good friends and I that we took that course together, and we're not in that industry.
No.
So.
So what did you end up doing then? If you graduated with that and you didn't do anything with it, so.
Well, I ended up just going. I ended up working at Kinney Shoes.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah. You know, and the manager, I guess, I was there pretty early. I guess he was impressed that I was there before the store even opened. And,
right.
And you know, we had a good conversation, and he took me on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a real shift change. Like I went to school for electronics and now shoes.
Yeah. Well, right. It was just a job. It was my wife and I, we were working together prior to that summer job. Like I actually became a painter. Like, you know, I worked with AAA student painter back then.
Oh yeah, right.
And we did that, and then it's like, okay, maybe I'll do it on my own, and just, you know, just trials, just checking to see what.
Figuring it out.
Yeah, and then I did Kinney Shoes, and it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, just working in the mall, and you know.
How old were you at this point?
At that point, you know what? I was in my early 20s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was probably like 22, 23, somewhere
okay.
there.
All right. And you knew your wife at this time, or?
Hang on, I can get in trouble here. So
I shouldn't ask how long have you been married?
Yeah, yeah.
You better remember, honey.
Yeah. 35 years to answer that question.
Right, that's awesome.
Yeah, 35 years. So.
That's great. What was she doing at the time?
She was working in the mall too.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was at the pharmacy in Eaton Center.
Okay. Oh,
the mall, or the store itself, like in the lower level of the restaurant down below.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right.
Right.
So cool. Yeah. Plus, she was a neighbor too.
So what did you get out of? Well, first of all, how long were you at Kinney Shoes?
I was probably there for about a good 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So what'd you get out of that?
You know what? I learned a lot of just working with people. They had a training system that I followed.
Right.
And after that, it just became like a template for how to do things. Right. You know, it was a well-organized company. I did well. You know, I was recognized for all sorts of stuff for you know, working for them. So then after that, I decided to. It's like, okay, what else is out there?
Right.
Actually, I started selling cell phones.
Oh yeah.
I was with Rogers Cantel back then.
I did that too. I worked for Cantel.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cantel.
Wow. Yeah, I worked for Cantel, and then I became a super agent for them.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then it was just time for a change again. And then that's when I went into the brick warehouse.
The brick, yes.
Yeah. So I was with the brick for 10 years actually.
Yeah. Good career.
Yeah, it was.
Sounds like everywhere you went, you made a good of it. Like
it was always a move forward, right?
Yeah.
It was always a step up, and so on. So you know, working with people and dealing with people, and then from there, you know, and I decided to. I worked at the Brick in Sarnia, and then moved to Vancouver for about 4 years just to see what outside of Sarnia was like.
Yeah, and again, this is still before the internet and everything, so this was a conversation with you and your wife to say, we're going to go do this.
Let's go do this.
So you just packed up and where you went, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Drove blindfolded?
Almost drove out there, and you know, and we drove back to move back too, right?
Did you have one of those stories like we drove there with $60 in our wallet and that's all we had, or did you? Was that something you had to save up for to do, or did you just say?
You know what? There was a little. I had a job to go to.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a little bit of savings and so on, but not much really.
So it's still a big risk.
Yeah, it was still a big risk. I knew, you know, there was good opportunity. I you know, I was pretty confident in what I was doing and what I'll be doing there as well.
Okay, which was what?
Yeah, sales.
Yeah.
Just you know, on the floor. You know, 100% commission. Just reconnecting. You know, just different market altogether.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
So, but expensive to live in.
Still, I think, but it was back then. So that would have been like, what was that, in the 80s?
No, 94 to 98.
Yeah, okay.
And then we decided to move back, and
what brought you back to Sarnia?
Family and friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, family and friends. We've got our 2 kids who were missing out on their grandparents,
right,
and cousins and so on. So that's why we came back.
Yeah, family's important to you.
Yeah, very important to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And your mom and dad, just to go back to that, like they were obviously happy with their choice to come to Canada and raise the family here.
Yeah.
Did you have close relationships with mom and dad?
Oh yeah. They were pretty old-fashioned.
Okay.
Right, but yeah, very close. I lost my dad in 2018, so I missed the guy, but he taught me a lot too, and so now I have my mom to hang out with.
Yeah, that's nice. That's great. What did you said your dad taught you a lot? What are some key things that you remember that I'm thankful that he taught me that.
You know what? It's just more about his work ethics and that, right? Like, he was always such a businessman too. So we got into a lot of argument because of the way things were done before and the way things are done now.
Not like that, Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? He shared a lot of experience and so on. And, he kept trying to push me in that right direction. It's like, hey, you should maybe look into doing this or, He liked the opportunity of being self-employed or, getting into business. Yeah. Right?
So you come back, you're here now, family, friends, and when you came back here, did you already have something in place that you were doing, or?
Well, I just transferred back with the brick.
What you were doing,
right?
With the brick,
and then from there, I decided to try to get out of retail, because once you're in retail, it's hard to get out of it, right?
Why?
I think it's because of the experience that you bring with you.
Yeah.
Because your retail experience, it's a salesperson's job, right? And so I went into industrial sales, which was actually great. That was 5 years of regular Monday to Friday job.
Yeah, okay.
Like 7:30 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Did some traveling with the company and so on. I did well with them as well. But then I was commuting from here to Chatham.
Oh yeah.
Every day, and
so
that was tough.
An hour. Back, boring.
Yeah. And basically, it's like, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna get into real estate then.
Yeah. So here you are now. How long have you been doing real estate?
Since 2006.
Okay. So where did that? I mean, obviously the I would say the sales side of it.
Yeah, the sales side, just like.
But who introduced you to it, or how did you? Or did you just say, I want to go and?
You know what? My uncle Richard was an agent way back then.
Okay.
And so it's like, oh, maybe that's something I can get into. Just like every other agent that's here now, it's like, they've got some sort of dream or idea. It's like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? It's an opportunity. Is it for everybody? Not necessarily.
I don't think so.
But is it worth trying to go after? Hey, you know what? If you have the means of potentially doing it and being successful, then go for it.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember being asked years ago by somebody local, tried to recruit me to come and I was like, it just wasn't my thing. I was just like, I don't like paperwork.
Yeah.
And I just don't. I was selling cell phones at the time. I had my own agency. Yeah. I was selling Bell and Cantel at the same time. Ask me how I pulled that off. But yeah, you're right. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I want to touch on when COVID hit, or even just before slightly, it seemed like so many people said, I'm getting into real estate. Or just coming out of COVID, it seemed even like, would you agree that there was a whole bunch of people came out and said, well, I'm going to do that too?
Well, I think COVID probably gave a lot of opportunity for the ones that got laid off.
Right.
It's like, what do I do now?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I got to do something. I got to make some money. I can't do this. I can't do that, and so on. So yeah, COVID was an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So something good came out of something bad.
Right. How did you cope with that longest 2 weeks of our life?
You know what? It was great.
Yeah.
It was actually great. My wife and I enjoyed it. It's like we didn't feel guilty about not doing anything.
Right.
It's like, let's just chill.
You got an official excuse to do nothing.
Yeah, have coffee. We were in the backyard and just
getting to know each other.
Getting to know each other. Listening to the birds sing and so on. Yeah, no, it was actually good. It was I think it was a good break for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me too, because I'm pretty sociable. I think you're pretty social too, right? And I was forced to slow down, and I was okay with it. My wife was like, "Oh boy, he's going to have trouble. He loves to go out all the time." But I was okay with.
Yeah. No, it was perfect. It was awesome.
Slowing down. Are we speeding? Obviously, we're speeding back up again now because it's not over, but we're out again. Was that a lesson for you or anybody else around you to say, slow down?
Yeah, you know what? It's actually, it was actually a good lesson. It made you think of, because of all the hustle and bustle and so on. And it's like, why are we working this hard? Mm-hmm. Believe me, I'm working my ass off now.
Yeah, I hear you.
But, why are we working at this point? Like, this is actually great. Is this what retirement's going to be like? Mm-hmm. Kind of just, chill? Am I just working for a lifestyle?
Yeah.
Right? So.
How since you said 2006 you got started, how has real estate, that industry, changed from then to where it is now?
As far as Sarnia goes, or anywhere, I guess, it's been crazy. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Right? Like 2006, things were really ramping up here in Sarnia.
Yeah.
Like outside of Sarnia, we seem to be in our own little bubble.
We talked about that earlier.
It doesn't matter what's going on with Toronto, if they're going up or down
the rest
or whatever.
Of the world.
It didn't matter. Sarnia was just in its own little bubble, right? If the market was down, maybe we'd be down like 3%.
Okay.
Whereas Toronto, if the market was down, it's a huge.
Right, they're down 8.
Down 8, and their numbers, it's a huge numbers. Like back then, I think our average sales were like 130, 140,000, right?
Right.
Versus where it's at now, so it's kind of crazy. So I've gone through the ups and downs and so on, right? So yeah.
And what about How has the internet from that, because even 2006, I mean, the internet was around, but it wasn't as accessible as maybe it is now. Like, I'm Googling what I want, whatever, and then I come to you, whereas before it was probably more like, here's what I'm looking for, can you help me find it?
Yeah, I think it was just starting. The internet and the system was really, because I know when I first started, some of the agents were still using the old books, the real estate books.
Oh, yeah.
That was updated like every day or whatever. And you're just going through pages and pages and pages of houses and so on. So I think that was kind of like the end part of it. And then internet is just starting to come along. And internet's great. It's giving the buyers a chance to see what's out there too. Yeah. It's just more information, right?
Yeah.
Right. So.
Cool. Are you? Is there anything like career-wise that you thought you'd like to do? I mean, obviously you've got a great real estate career, but is there something you haven't done yet?
Is there something I haven't done yet?
As far as career goes.
You know what? I like where I'm at. I wouldn't change it now.
Yeah.
No. It's too late to change anything now anyways.
You think so?
Well, it depends. I don't know. We'll see.
What about the other stuff, like jumping out of airplanes or climbing mountains or anything like that? You haven't done?
Like a bucket list thing? No, I don't think I'll ever jump out of that.
No. I'm not allowed to.
No. You know what? Life is good where it's at. I've got. I enjoy going motorbiking.
We've done some motorcycle
with
riding
the club
together.
and so on. I like going to the gym. I never. You know what? The funny thing is, before I didn't start going to the gym until like the last 8-9 years. Prior to that, I never hit the gym.
Really?
No, it's like my daughter got me into it, and I'm hooked, right? So it's like,
That's cool.
You know what? It's about thinking that I'm slowing my aging down.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, you got to keep those limbs moving, or they're going to seize up in a couple of years, right?
Yeah. I'm just having fun with my friends and family. So.
Yeah, you like to get out and have some fun, and we have some mutual friends, and I've seen the ABBA parties and the superhero parties, and it's like I look at it, I kind of get jealous and go, "Wow, that looks like fun," you know. Yeah. So this is a cool. Is this you guys take turns coming up with the ideas, or
no, you know what?
Puke them up and go, I think we should do that.
It's mostly Roger.
Is it?
Yeah, Roger and Tam. They come up with that.
I'm not surprised. Hi, Rog.
we just show up in our costume and say, okay, let's do this. You know, and
a little bit of karaoke.
A little bit of karaoke or rock band thing. You know, my kid just laughs at us every time. But you know what? It's a cool way to get together with your friends, let loose, and everybody. Just having fun.
Get rid of that stress that tends to come along in life as well.
Yeah, you can't be all work.
No. Right? It's interesting you say that because I don't like I don't work. I don't feel like I work. You know, I do a lot of stuff or whatever. But are you the same? You just like you love what you do so much that you get up every day ready to just take on what you're going to do and just like it.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like physically exhausting or anything. It can be mentally exhausting too sometimes, right? So.
Well, that kind of leads into mental health, right? You know, mental health affects everybody really in a way. Is that something for yourself that you have to recognize, and do you say, okay, I got to stop and self-care kind of thing?
Yeah, actually my wife tells me that I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
Right? She says, well, you're constantly on your laptop or working.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, you're right, you know. So it's nice that she points it out every now and then and say, you know what, I'm going to take today off and just chill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And 35 years, you kind of been good for each other.
Yeah. Well, so together 37, but 35 years and
That's great. What does she do?
She is a spray tan artist now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
My daughter got her into that. So
a spray tan artist. That's interesting.
Yeah, if you need a tan.
Right. I don't know. Do I?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have the patience for getting a tan, because that takes time. Don't you get like? How does that work? You get it, or is that one of those things where it's like I get an instant tan?
Instant tan.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just I've got a studio for her that she just. Does her thing, her magic. And
she does it here in the home?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. How long has she been doing that?
Just a year, just getting it going. Yeah. She loves it. She loves being self-employed.
Right, working at home.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't have my me time. She's always at the house.
I think that was a clue. She'd probably say the same about you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right.
Yeah.
You travel. You've been doing some traveling. It seems, and just following your Facebook posts, and I really enjoy watching what other people are doing in like a positive stuff. Because I've learned so much from following you and others. Where I go, oh, I never would have thought of going there. Yeah. Or where was I going with that? Oh, you were in Portugal recently, right? Yeah. What made you go that direction? Or was that part of? I'm not a geographic guy. Was that part of the Philippines trip, or was that separate?
No, it's separate, right? Okay. It's just, you know what, you know what they say, you only live once, right? So you want to explore and try to see what you can, if you can, right? And I've been blessed that we can do that.
Yeah,
stuff,
for sure.
Right? And my wife, she loves traveling, so she has a travel buddy in case I can't go.
Right. Does she plan it that way sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, you know what? Portugal is nice. We just wanted to explore to see what was there.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it there?
Oh, it's great. Love the seafood. People are great.
Yeah.
Beautiful city. Lots of history.
Yeah.
There's I wish I would have done my homework as far as what Portugal was all about prior to going there.
Yeah, like I wouldn't.
Right.
I don't know much about it.
Like second oldest city in the world, right?
Oh, really?
For example, just great history. And no, my wife just booked it, and I said, okay, I'll pack my suitcase. And
she plans it.
She plans it. Yeah.
Jennifer does that. I love it.
I just show up.
Right.
Just grab my passport.
Time do I gotta be there, honey? Yeah.
Exactly. When do we go, and so on, right?
What's you married that long? I mean, marriage can be challenging, right. There's a lot that goes on there. What's dare I say? What's the secret?
What's the secret?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you fight, you try to make up.
Yeah.
Right. Geez, is it easy? Man, no, it's not easy. It's a lot of compromising.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
negotiating.
A lot of negotiating and so on. So yeah.
Communication, I think,
is
the biggest one for me.
Yeah, yeah. And somewhat trying to stay focused. I do lose focus every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just she'll remind me. So that's good.
Yeah.
Right?
That's great.
You know.
That's awesome. Where do you want to go next that you haven't been then?
I don't want to say it out loud because then my wife's going to want to book it like tomorrow or something like that, right? And say, let's go. So, you know, I think honestly, possibly Panama. Right?
Yeah.
Right, Roger?
Right, Roger? We were talking about you before we started the camera. I said, hey, we know a guy.
Yeah, so that would be one of the destinations for sure, right? You know, and, you know,
Have you ever done a cruise?
Yes.
And did you like it?
You know what? It's, no, I did not.
No?
One, I can't swim.
Okay.
It's not like, you know, I'm going to go overboard or anything like that, but I just felt like stuck.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you're going port to port, so you're going from one beach to the next beach to the next beach, and then you get back on, hit the buffet, hit the bar, and just do the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going on one in December. That's why I asked. We've never been on one. So.
Yeah. Well, you got to do it. You got to try it at least once.
Yeah, that's
so
what
I've tried it. So it's like,
and
okay.
No, okay.
I'd rather go to a destination and stay there for a week, 2 weeks, or whatever.
Yeah, and I appreciate and it sounds like off resort. Like do you Airbnb it when you went away?
Actually,
to
Portugal was Airbnb.
Is that right?
Yeah, Airbnb the whole time. It was perfect. The accommodation was great. We were like right in the middle of things, right? Like in you know the heart of the city. It wasn't commercialized or anything like that. It was nice.
Yeah, cool. Do you follow politics at all?
Yes.
He's like danger,
yes.
Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't care what color you follow or whatever, but do you follow it federally, provincially, municipally, or a little bit of all?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? I just want what's good for the people.
Yeah.
I don't care which side is running it. Just run it.
Just do the right thing.
Just do the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, you're not going to please everybody.
No.
But you can't piss off everybody.
Right.
Right?
Well, I would think it's because of the internet. That is, it's tougher to please everybody, I think.
Well, I don't think it should be. It's just making sure that we're well informed about a lot of things.
Right.
Right?
So
I know everybody's got their opinion and
that's right,
and so on.
That's right.
And you know, but yeah, I just don't feel like we're getting all the information we need.
Mm-hmm. So, and I won't take you down a rabbit hole if you don't want to, but how are we doing? Like, how's federal? How are we doing out there?
You know what? I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
For sure. I think there's a lot of people that are in the same boat as me or mindset. It's like, what's going on? Like, it's not the same as when I first came to the country.
Right.
You know, imagine this. My parents are landed immigrants, right? They had labor work.
So you're talking about politics, and it's different than when your family came here. How so?
Well, you know what? I never really cared about it then, you know, as a kid or whatever. But now that it's affecting like my lifestyle or, you know, the family or what I get to keep out of, you know, my income and so on. Now it's like, you know, it's costing everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough, right? You know, just trying to, you know, what are they doing? Like, where's the balance? Like, what's their end goals?
Right.
You know, everybody complains about immigrants coming in. Well, one, I have no right to complain about immigrants.
Right.
Everybody's got a right to come.
Yeah.
You know, they're all just looking for the same thing, opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. but there should be a plan for them.
Right.
Like right now, housing is in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, you can't house 500,000 people coming in here.
No.
Every year.
And a lot of those that are coming in are they do share space together.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 or 6, you know. But I think over time, as they learn that I don't want to do that anymore, then we're going to need even more housing. And that's just even on the local level. Like we're seeing the housing issue. I mean, the cost of a 1-bedroom apartment is...
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
I remember paying $350 a month for a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, I appreciate that was in the 90s and that minimum wage was different, but it was affordable.
Yeah, but now it's exponentially gone off. Just
How do we fix that?
How do you fix that? Well, one, we need to slow down whatever promises are being made to the people coming here, right? Yeah, there's opportunity to come here and you know, just like me, my parents, right, and so on. But you know, back then we were able to buy a house after living in Canada for 2 years
and working hard
you know, feed 4 kids and so on. They can't do that. Like I get a lot of messages from the Filipino community, for example, you know, looking for place to rent and so on, and for, you know, families coming here. You know, families, like, you know, they're going to school, but they're coming here and they don't have a place secured yet.
Yeah.
So what do they do when they come here? Where do they stay?
Right.
Right?
I don't know.
They can't stay at the hotels.
Yeah.
Right? That's too expensive.
Yeah.
You know, so they got to rent a room somewhere or a basement, right? So yeah, that's driving the price of homes because you've got people, you know, there's always an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever there's a problem, there's an opportunity for somebody. So in this case, investors.
Right.
Looking, you know, it's like, hey, I'm going to buy a house because I've got all these people, students coming.
Yep.
So it's supply and demand. So cost of house is going up. Well, that rent's going to be expensive too.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, interest rates just went up. Yep.
Yeah. Right.
That rent's going to be expensive too.
Is it just going to keep going? Like I always say, you know, like prices go up, they don't go down. Like a bottle of water, a bottle of beer, Coke or whatever is all, those prices, they don't go down. Gas prices
it won't come down. It's not going to dive down.
Yeah.
It's going to be, you know, they got to control it, maintain it or stabilize it somehow, right? But it's just a domino effect and so on, right? There's you know, this is a conversation that could be for like 2 hours just on this topic.
It's another show.
It's another show, right? You know, there's...
But we're in trouble.
Yeah. We're in trouble for sure.
Have you ever thought of running for some kind of political office?
No, that's okay.
No?
Because you know what?
Did you want to think about it?
No.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you.
No, because you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't
You
matter.
get a target on your back. And
yeah. You know, next thing you know, they're posting nasty crap on your wall or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, kudos to those who have rhino skin. I
like friends. Even friends, you know, you could have friends that become enemies because they don't believe in what you're doing or whatever.
Well, I think we saw a lot of that in COVID, right? You know, True Colors came out with a lot of people.
Yeah. You know what?
Really?
It was very disappointing. It was like, really, wow. It did bring up a lot of colors for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So, but hey, I just stayed in my lane and keep going.
Yeah.
Right?
What's one of your favorite things about Sarnia? Like, what's kept you here besides a career or whatever? But you know, the community itself.
You know what, Sarnia, it's a nice, just the right size of town. I can go to an appointment within 10 minutes anywhere in Sarnia.
You can get to Corunna in 12.
Getting Corunna in 12 and Brights Grove in 15 and Kilmallock in 20. Right?
Yeah.
It's easy, nice to get around. You don't have a traffic congestion of any kind.
No.
There's no such thing as traffic hours where you try to stay away from, except maybe Vital and Brock, but that's a pretty quick flow.
Yeah.
But otherwise, Sarnia's great. You know, it's a affordable town still.
Yes.
Compared to anywhere else. It's always been affordable. Affordable to buy a house, maybe not now, but then.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was never, you know what, it was never a place to rent. Renting in Sarnia was always expensive.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Well, versus renting in Toronto.
Yeah,
compared to what you can buy.
I never found it, that way. But I've always lived here, so I never knew anything different.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Sarnia's great.
Good people in Sarnia, I think.
Good people. We've got a beautiful park. I love Canatar Park, the beach.
Right.
We've got a great lake that you can actually swim in a nice river.
Right.
Having the border just right there, cross over to the States and catch a flight in Detroit or a show or whatever.
Great. You're awesome. I know there's so much more we could talk about, and maybe we will another time.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back and we'll just do that show and that other thing he was talking about. Thanks for welcoming into your home, and it's been an overdue conversation. We've seen each other at a lot of mutual gatherings or whatever.
I don't know why. I'm a boring guy, but
not at all. No, this is great. Well, and you kind of said, well, I don't know what to talk about. Everybody's got stories, and I think just talking about your family coming here and the importance of that has been for your life, and I know community is important to you as well, and you've got some great adventures in there too. So thank you so much for your time.
Hey, you're welcome.
I know we're going to shut the camera off now. And we're going to talk about other things more now that the camera's off, but I always ask you to click the like and the love button, but click that share button. It's the most important button to share Renato's story and everybody else that we have here in the show. But for now, that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time right here in the show. Bye-bye for now. Easy peasy. Cut.